One of the challenges that a number of students can face when it comes to learning in the classroom and also taking exams, and that is dyslexia. Dyslexia is not one thing. It's actually an umbrella term that covers a number of difficulties in reading, in writing, in organisation, and that's also organisation both in your brain as well as, say, your time management and remembering books and stuff like that. So it's a number of different problems. And people will experience it in different ways as well. So, for example, some of my students have greater difficulty with reading, some with writing, and some with the more organisational aspect of things too. What we need to do is to ensure that this doesn't break our confidence, because there are ways around it. And sometimes you can feel that you're putting in all of this effort and you're not making the ground that you need that needs to be made, that needs to be effective for you. So first of all, you need to understand, well, exactly what sort of dyslexia do you have if these are the difficulties that you're experiencing. Okay, so understand exactly the nature of your challenges so that the school and any help that you're provided with can tailor strategies that meet your needs. Now, the sorts of things that I recommend for my students are not things that are exclusively applicable to students with dyslexia, and whether that's mild or severe. Actually, these are procedures that are going to help most people I know, because actually it lines up with the way your brain likes to work. So the first thing is about being systematic. Okay, ensure you have really good organisation with your folders. Okay, when it comes to learning and memory and essay writing, have plans for doing things, for checking. And I've put a little checking protocol on the website as well that you can take a look at. And it sounds daft, surely I know how to check. Well, actually, what's the system by which you should check? Things like, what's the system by which I should learn vocabulary? Okay, because a great big long list isn't going to be effective. Breaking it down into chunks is going to be effective. Also, things like making you brain ready. So focus and distraction is a real problem for people who do have dyslexia. And part of the reason for that is you put in so much effort into learning because it's important to you. And you actually have to put in more effort than the person sitting next to you in order to get the same marks. If the material is being taught in a way that's very big on reading and writing, as opposed to more experiential learning. So you're going to get tired and you're going to be prone to coming out of focus. So when you need to sit down and do your own work, think to yourself, what is going to make my brain ready to be focused? And short, sharp bursts of focus are really where it's at. You're going to need to have less reliance on things that are written down or that you have to read. Big chunks of reading, generally speaking, for people with dyslexia is really tough going. Sometimes I recommend using a sheet of paper. If there is stuff that has to be read and you can't listen to it, then sometimes using a sheet of paper and working down, underlining the words, so you're not faced with this huge chunk of words, just a plain sheet of paper on top and reading bits and pieces as you go down. Okay, so you're understanding comprehension line by line, section by section. Break it down and make it bite-sized so it's not overwhelming. We want you to be feeling as confident as possible with this material. The other thing is, let's use diagrams. So the material that's written in a great big chunk in the textbook, for example, or in your notes, let's try and draw them. And in my exam preparation course in Smart of 8, I give you some examples for how to do that as well. Think to yourself how you might learn in a different sort of way. So rather than just sitting down, often with my students with dyslexia, I get them to stand and use whiteboards and big sheets of paper on the wall where you can draw and do things where you're using your whole body as well and being involved in more experiential learning of material. Your teachers can often help there as well. Maybe ask them, how would I learn this if I were to learn it by doing it rather than simply by reading and writing? The thing is, dyslexia does not mean to say that this is the end of the road and you're not going to be able to do well in your exams at all. Rather, it's a matter of finding your strengths. Where are the things where you are good at? And often with my dyslexic students, they're quite sporty or quite arty. So let's use those skills when it comes to exam preparation and how you put information together and remember it and then apply it in the exam. And then all of a sudden, you can get the marks that you really want as well.